One time I was at my grandma's because she was helping me with the school bake sale. She was asking me if I had any ideas on what to make and I thought it would be funny to prank her. I said make WAP, and she said what? I said it stands for warm apple pies, and her nipples hardened in joy. She began whipping up a batch of apple pies like her life depended on it, and I went and sat in my room. I came back out an hour later and saw she had a whole tray of apple pies and she wrote WAP all over them, and she made WAP banners. I told her it was just a joke and it's not what she thinks it means, and she slapped me across the face and told me not to get involved. She set up her spot at my school's bake sale and started screaming, "Come eat my WAP, kids. Please come here and try my delicious warm WAP. WAP 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 WAP." Everyone started laughing at her, but at the end of the day she racked up the most sales out of all the soccer moms there. She later spray painted WAP on her old creepy van and she now drives around the neighborhood screaming, "Come up to my van and try my WAP," to innocent children playing in their front yards. In 3rd grade I had this annoying fat white teacher who was very judgmental and fast to accuse. She made the class do this poster project of our great-great-great-great-great-grandparents and it was about where they lived. I made the project and researched everything. I'm a very over-the-top person. So the day of the presentation this Asian girl presented and she said her grandparents didn't drink water. The teacher didn't say anything and I was like, bitch what? Anyway, so it was my turn to present and this kid asked me, what did they drink? Fucking dumbass. Anyway, I said they drank water, because they did. And the teacher started ranting on how they didn't drink water and drank coconut water and acted like she researched everyone's family. Stupid whore. She gave me detention for lying, which I didn't, and yet allowed someone to say they didn't drink water at all? So what, they just fucking died? I used to have this art teacher and everyone hated her. She was the biggest bitch, like she was literally so mean and strict, and for what? What was the reason? Anyways, one day she was really testing my limits and she had the motherfucking audacity to rip up and throw away a project I worked on for a week because she said it quote unquote wasn't good enough and that I never even try in her class. Even though I worked so hard on it and I did the best I could. I was mad at her for saying I didn't ever try and that my work wasn't good enough for her, so I was thinking to myself, shut your bubble gum dum dum skin tone chicken bone Google Chrome no homo flip phone disowned ice cream cone garden gnome extra. Chromosome metronome dimidome genome full blown monochrome student loan. Indiana Jones overgrown Flintstone X and Y chromosome friend zone Sylvester Stallone Sierra Leone AutoZone friend zone professionally seen silver patron big headed ass up. And out of anger I grabbed my backpack and said no, I am gonna leave. My way or the highway. And I stormed out of that ugly bitch's class and flipped her off on the way out. I deadass ran out of the school and walked all the way home since I lived close to the school. My mom asked me why I was home early and I told her what happened and she was surprisingly proud of me. So proud that she took me out for ice cream. I was suspended for 3 days for doing that, but oh well, fuck that bitch. One day my parents got a whole treadmill so they could work out. It looked cool, so when we set it up I wanted to use it. I wasn't allowed to use it because my parents said it was dangerous. I didn't give a fuck if it was dangerous, I still wanted to try it. When they set it up they told us they were gonna use it but they didn't trust me, so they locked the door so I couldn't go in. They were done and they said it worked fine. Fast forward to when it was nighttime. My parents got me to sleep but I stayed up because I was gonna use it when everyone was asleep. They walked out of my room thinking I went to sleep, but when they got into bed I snuck downstairs to where the treadmill was. I didn't know how to use it but I didn't feel like reading the instructions. I kind of got an idea of how it works, so I plugged it into the wall and turned it on. It was loud as fuck so I was scared my parents would hear, but YOLO. It was really slow so I turned the speed up to full. It progressively got faster and faster. I knew I had run that fast before when my mom chased me with her chancla. My legs were gonna fall off but I didn't know how to stop it, so I just stopped moving, and next thing you know, since it was going so fast it pushed me right against the door leaving a giant hole. My back was hurting like I think I got scoliosis from that. I was yelling rat-a-tat-a help me help rat-a-tat-a rat-a-tat-a 911. My parents rushed downstairs and started yelling at me. Now there is a dent in the downstairs door. I was sent to the emergency room and it turns out I had a ruptured rib cage, scoliosis, a fractured vertebrae, and arthritis. One day I went skiing with my friend Lucy McCoochie. When me and Lucy McCoochie arrived at the skiing resort we got checked in and everything and were ready to go. I have been skiing before but Lucy McCoochie has not. We were both nervous as fuck but we counted to 3 and then went. I was going good but all of a sudden I saw Lucy McCoochie fly across the sky. I thought she was an airplane. That hoe started flying across the sky like she was a crow or some shit. The birds started to fly with her because they thought she was a bird also. She landed and she started rolling down the hill like 324 miles per hour like calm down burrito taquito mosquito wannabe. Lucy McCoochie started to go zoom zoom vroom vroom boom boom bam pow whack whack vroom zoom pow whip happa rat-a-tat-a help me. She then slid into a tree just how she slid into 34 men's DMs. Sorry, off topic. She started to cry and yell, ouch my zakuchi woochie poochie McCoochie moochie noochie juchie suchi buchi luchi zambuchi hurts. She broke her coochie. It didn't smell fruity, it was very juicy, it smelled like sushi, it was very bloody. Her McCoochie zambuchi burned and we were very concerned. We rushed her to the hospital and the doctors told us that she has itchy burny coochie cancer. One day in class the teacher let us play Kahoot. Of course the one smart-ass crusty-ass no-neck looking-ass glasses falling off the face looking-ass cheating looking-ass kid was sitting up all straight with his notes screaming so loud I had to buy a hearing aid that he was going to win. The game started and he got the first fucking question wrong, so Mr. Smarty Pants grabbed his computer and smashed it on the quiet girl's head and started to rage and turn red as a tomato. The teacher told him to calm down, so he ran to the door and slipped and had a concussion. We called the ambulance and they took him to the hospital. Turns out he had a severe anxiety attack. A couple days later we found out he had raged because his computer died during the Kahoot and the quiet girl had a severe concussion after Smarty Pants smashed the computer on her.
One time me and my friend snuck out of the house at night and we went to McDonald's. The employee was asking where our dad was. We didn't know what to say, so we just said he was waiting in the car. Then this big muscly guy walked in and the employee asked if he was our dad, and for some reason we said yes, even though we had no clue who he was. The guy paid for our food. We thanked the man and left, but then he followed us out of the restaurant and told us if we didn't come with him he would stab us. We were scared, so we just did what he said. We were in the back seat of his truck and we were freaking out. But my friend found a glass bottle in the back seat and smashed it over the man's head. The man fainted and we saw he had a pocket knife on his dashboard, so we took it and stabbed him in the arm a few times. We got out of the car and ran back to my friend's house. To this day we haven't told the police and we don't know if the man died.
One time I was in school and I had this one teacher that always got on my last motherfucking nerves. The bitch kept picking on me for no reason. She would give us these big ass crispy fucking packets of work and I'm not gonna lie, I was not doing them shits. It was too much like, oh, you're not my only goddamn teacher, but eventually I started doing them and she always had to pick on me by taking a point off for every little thing. She wasn't doing that to the other students that were making the same minor mistake, like forget to put your last name and the date and little shit like that. And then on top of that she kept calling my mom for every little thing. She also told me I would never be successful. One day I was so sick of this prissy fish looking big body little head ashy ass bitch of a teacher, so one day, when she wasn't in the room, I drew all over her board with a permanent Sharpie marker. I carefully took all the papers off her desk and put them under the desk scattered. Then I unplugged the computer and yanked the fuck out of a cord so that the computer wouldn't work, and since it's school property she would probably have to pay for it. I don't give one fuck if what I did was too extreme. She shouldn't have gave me a hard ass time every day.
One time we had a show and tell. I brought some of my squishies because they were popular. Slime and squishies were both popular that year. I brought my rarest and most expensive squishies because I was dedicated to win the show and tell. The teacher said that whoever brought the best item, they would win something out of the prize box. These kids were bringing the most basic boring shit ever, like this one kid named Chattanooga brought these ugly crusty ass rocks they said were found on the moon. I've seen that rock in my front yard, so shut the fuck up. This other kid brought their stained white Crocs. What the fuck is so special about those dusty ancient moldy off-brand athlete's foot Dunkeroy monkey cock stain offensive Crocs? When they took their Croc off their foot I could smell it from the back of the class. It smelled funky, Dunkeroy, hunkeroy, crunky, chunky, smelly, New Delhi, pork belly. Then they called me and it was my time to shine. I took out each and every one of my squishies and people started to laugh. I grabbed my real 𝕬𝔩𝔦𝔠� squishy and all of my other ones and started yonky bonkying everyone. I knocked Smelly Kelly's front tooth out. I snatched Squash and Natasha's weave out her head and I ripped out Fat Pat's fake eyelashes. I was sent to detention and threw my extra squishies at the principal and the front desk lady. I was sent home and was expelled. I became sick and couldn't go back to school for a week.
I worked as a barista at Starbucks and I'd make coffees and shit. This one lady named Barbara came in and asked for a medium rare steak and fries. I said, first of all, I'm a barista, and second of all, this isn't Outback Steakhouse, we don't sell that. And then she started yelling, give me my steak, I order it every time at this Starbucks, you're just stupid. She asked to see the manager, so I got her and Barbara explained that I was refusing to give her steak, which isn't even true, and my manager said, ma'am, we don't sell steak. Barbara gave up and said, fine, I'll just have a chicken parmigiana, and then we all lost our shit. We started throwing drinks at her and Barbara slipped and cracked her hip. We got a lawsuit a week later for harassment and injuries in our store. She lost a ha 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 ha.